Yeah, I know this is late being recorded because of something that happened yesterday. Because for whatever reason, yesterday, I seemed to have fucking crashed and hit the fucking ground and was out for a while and woke up with a really fucked up shoulder. And the thing is, I've been under a lot of stress. I don't mention my miserable brother who basically last Sunday went into my ailing mother's house and ripped off a bunch of shit, and he did it when my sister wasn't there so it could be stopped. So I'm a little bit miffed at that, and I'm miffed at the fact that I can't do too much about it. But anyway, that kind of fucked me up yesterday. I don't know. There's too much, in life. All of a sudden shit gets piled on you, piled on you, piled on you, then you snap, and that's what's going on. So that being said, video store stories. I mean, I did that whole past midnight video thing in Rockaway Marketplace, and I went from a small store to a medium-sized store to a pretty big store, which was successful. But as anybody who owned a video store or worked in one will know, that you got a lot of downtime. And when you got a lot of downtime, you're tempted to put in a movie. And we used to put in some really shitty fucking movies when nobody was around. The first one that we had, I'm not going to say it's a shitty movie, it's a great movie, was Henenlotter's Basket, Brain Damage. But the VHS that was circulating back then was sort of cut. Then I think I got the uncut version from Luminous, and it had the monster blowjob scene in it, where she goes, "Oh, you got a monster in there," and she zips down his zipper, and the creature goes flying out and down her throat. Well, nobody had ever seen that scene before, so we kept bringing people in. "Hey, you got to check this out. You got to check this out." So that was one. Then when I moved to the medium-sized store, it just seemed like Sunday was the off day, even though, if it was the summer or I could still do outside markets, I would, but in the winter you're sort of stuck in there. So we had these Japanese animation tapes that I'd gotten from Liquidators, and I wasn't really familiar with them except that they were adult rated. So we had never seen one. So we put in one, I guess it was called the Overfiend, and this big dragon monster was banging this chick, and then she exploded, and then he goes, "Oh, it's the best I've had in 125 years. Well, we had the two old ladies standing by our open window that were looking this and were gasping in horror, so we had to turn that off. So then we get into the bigger booth. And, like I said, you're sitting there, sometimes bored, and I can't remember the name of this movie. It was that video company. It was called AIP, American Independent Pictures, or something like that. But all I know is the big line in the movie was, "Did you see that ugly motherfucker?" So for weeks we kept greeting each other with, "Did you see that ugly motherfucker?" I honestly can't remember the name of the movie. It was a slasher movie or something. But then came the topper. The ultimate topper of them all, Dead Alive, which had never been, I don't think it was ever run theatrically here, and went right to video on Trimark. And we put that in, and that's the thing with the Sumerian monkey biting the old lady, then she morphs into this fucking zombie. Then you got a priest yelling, "I kick ass for the Lord." There's more guts and fake blood and pus and vomit being slashed around in that film than I'd ever seen before. And of course, one of the key scenes is that somebody melts down till there's nothing left but an asshole that farts. So yeah, that was pretty over the top. I guess this is getting a Blu-ray release back pretty soon. Then there was another one which doesn't fall into the guise of anything, which was Night of the Grizzly, a Clint Walker movie, and Clint's pretty wholesome, and this thing, it had a couple twists in it. Number one, Clint had something to do with casting, so he cast veteran heavy Jack Elam in the role of the lovable town handyman, which the producers balked at because they said, "Well, Jack's a heavy, you can't do that." And Clint goes, "No, Jack will do a good job," which he did, and it sort of segued Jack's way into more comedic roles instead of being a heavy all the time. The other one was another veteran heavy that was brought in there was real-life tough guy Leo Gordon, who Clint, in an interview, said that Leo said this was his favorite film. He's a bounty hunter who was actually put in jail a few years before by Clint when he was Clint's bounty hunter or sheriff's deputy or whatever, that he basically killed a guy and had to do time for it. So there's animosity there, and of course there's the killer bear killing all the livestock and trying to drive Clint's family off their farm. And the bounty hunter, Cass, played by Gordon, only likes Clint's son for some reason. He takes to him and basically in the film dies a hero, saving the kid from the bear. So, Clint had said that, working with Leo was tough because Leo would test you. And, of course, anybody who knows anything about Leo Gordon would remember that basically after he had acted in a play, he was jumped by 6 drunken football fans and beat the shit out of all of them, and one of them he put in critical condition. So Leo was no joke, and even James Garner said on Maverick that Leo would test him in fight scenes and stuff like that. So, yeah, Leo was the real deal, and him and Clint became good friends after this movie. It's weird because this is like a '66 movie, and it's more shot like a family film, but it has these upswings of violence in it, which are pretty crazy, and a little bit of religious overtones, which I guess that was, Clint wrote that into there, so that was that. Now we're having Labor Day weekend, and probably most of the people hearing this will be working retail jobs, shitty fucking retail jobs and shit. It's been a turbulent week. I haven't gotten into anything political because I'm just disgusted with fucking everything right about now. Trying to keep a stiff upper lip, but it's not. I'm being honest here. I've been really depressed for the last few days with this shit. Just dealing with too much shit that one person has to deal with, and it's starting to wear me down. So all I can do at this point is wish everybody a happy Labor Day, safe, happy Labor Day weekend. Watch some movies, smoke some weed, hang out with your friends, whatever. I'll be here with the dogs. That's about it. And that's starting to wear on me too. So, all right. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe this weekend, and we'll catch you on the flip side on Monday.